Hello and welcome to Liberty Nation's LNTV. I'm your host, Mark Angelides, and we're joined today by Mr. Jeff Charles. Welcome, Jeff.
Hey, Mark, how you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. We're going to be talking about what's happening in Georgia, what's happening with businesses and the government, almost working together to make Georgia seem like the bad guy in what's happening. And they may be, they may not be. But Jeff, we know that businesses are desperate to display their woke credentials and jump on just about any progressive bandwagon that's possible in the hope of maybe positive column inches. But with this recent decision to pull the Major League Baseball All-Star game from Georgia, there's an element that's gone largely unreported. Would you care to fill us in on that?
Yes. I mean, businesses are desperate to maintain their revenue stream. But in all this woke stuff that they're posturing about, they are forgetting one thing, especially Major League Baseball, when they decided to move their All-Star game from Atlanta to Denver. Atlanta businesses, 30% are Black-owned. Black-owned businesses have gotten hit the hardest by the coronavirus pandemic. Even just last year, 40% of them had to shut down. So this would have been a much needed boost to their revenue to help them stay in business, to continue to feed their families. And this is an example of how progressives work. They use Black people as pawns, but they have no problem doing things that will harm them in the name of furthering their agenda. So that is all that we're seeing here. These people don't care about Black people. They don't care about Black businesses. They don't care about Black voting rights. They're promoting a big lie about how this disproportionately impacts the Black community. And they're not giving anything to support it because there is nothing that supports it. It's just using more race baiting to play on people's emotions, bringing up Black trauma when they talk about Jim Crow 2.0. Everybody knows that this is not Jim Crow. This is not the way it was back in the day. This is just something that they don't like because it doesn't give them the electoral advantage that they want.
We'll get back to that idea of the big lie aspect later on in our Member Zone segment. It's a very important one. But let's talk a little bit about the idiocy involved here. And I'm right in thinking that Colorado as a state already has stricter voting laws than the ones that Georgia has now passed and is seeking to put in place. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's a debate on that. Some people are saying they do, some people are saying they don't. I think it's just a matter of opinion. What I do know is that their voting laws are not less restrictive than what Georgia's doing right now. A lot of what Georgia put into place is already in place in other states other than Colorado. So again, they weren't actually fighting against this. If they were actually sincere about this fight, they would have, like say with MLB, the Major League Baseball, they would have moved the All-Star game to another city that has a large Black population so that at least some Black businesses are benefiting. No, they moved it to Lily White, Denver. So they don't care about this stuff.
Surely that's just the snow on the mountain peaks.
Oh, Jeff. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. But the thing is that if they actually cared about this stuff, they would have been speaking up about it before the law was even passed. They waited until after so that they can capitalize on it. So the real story here is that they are punishing Black business because Georgia's voting laws aren't in line with what they want, and they're supposedly doing it for Black people. That is the big lie here, because it's the big lie that they've been telling for decades. We want to help Black people when in actuality they're stabbing Black people in the back.
It certainly seems that the actions don't match the words, which is obviously something we've come to expect really from politicians. Speaking of politicians, there are some who initially encouraged let's call it the Georgia boycott, but they're backtracking now. Now, is this because the actual reality is starting to seep through the cracks of the big dam that mainstream media has put up? Or is it because they see that the inevitable job losses that we're talking about here that are going to be used as an electoral weapon against them? Or have they had a come to Jesus moment and just decided that it was the wrong thing to do? What do you think?
Yeah, I think all three of those elements are present, depending on who you're talking about. I mean, like say with Stacey Abrams, as much as I disagree with her and as destructive as I think that she is, I think she sincerely cares about Black people. And then she realized, oh, wait a minute, this is going to hurt Black people. So then she started backtracking. Others are realizing, oh, this can be used against us. And realistically, every conservative media outlet, every conservative politician should be screaming this from the rooftops. I mean, we can talk about Denver, the difference between Colorado and Georgia's voting laws, but we need to be talking about the utter hypocrisy here. And I think that people on the Democratic side, they realize that. Usually they do this stuff more in secret and they have the media there to cover for them. But in this, everybody knows that Atlanta has a very high Black population. So not even the activist media can cover this up. So I think that's probably the main reason for the backtracking among a lot of the politicians that you're seeing right now.
Jeff Charles, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that's it for this edition of Liberty Nation TV. Remember to hit Liberty Nation News for original articles, The Uprising and Rabbit Hole podcasts, and our signature television program, The Conservative 5. Just go to libertynation.com on your browser, or hit Rumble, YouTube, or check out our Liberty Nation News Roku channel. I'm Mark Angelides. Thanks for watching. This program is a production of libertynation.com, conservative news where truth matters.
Who are we? We are Americans that believe in liberty. We are a project of the nonprofit One Generation Away. We are patriots who apply the founding principles to the issues of today.
And they keep moving the goalposts on us.
We are educators and commentators who love America and the Constitution. Who are we? We are Liberty Nation.